would like to talk to you about today is culture practice and your own spirituality. And to give you examples of how things been taken out of context from the book that belongs to the Israelites. One of the things that is most important for us to understand is that we should always believe that we believe in the truth. The truth is about a word that everyone uses. But I can tell you one thing. Once you go to school, any fool can read. And they read a Bible. And they allow a lot of people to believe in what they're reading. But I say, once you go to school, any fool can read. I have seen people reading the scriptures and reading the Psalms and saying that they are doing God's work. First, we got to understand one thing. The book that they're reading is not theirs. They have come through the back door. And the shepherd would not know that sheep. The shepherd would only know the sheep that come through the front door. So you can read all you want to read, but the fact is, the Psalms were written and said by Israelites. The book from Genesis to Revelation is about the Israelites, written for and by. Today I want to give you a story. I've listened to a very prominent man once, and he said when you read the book of Ezekiel, talking about aliens, in that Ezekiel, the first chapter, you and I know there's no alien in this book, but you can't really give him wrong because he's not an Israelite and he's not of the truth. And he's allowed to say anything because he's labeled himself as a leader. I have heard, and I asked the priest this morning to confirm it with me, because I sent him to go to a meeting of a person who stole the works from my books and put it in his book. And that person was reading the book of Genesis, and I'm going to explain it to you. To us, it should be very simple. To me, it's simple. And I hope to God, to you, it will be simple. He used words that would criminate in spirituality, because a man that reads the Bible shouldn't say things like what I heard he says, and the priest would not lie to me. And he also said that Jacob is a thief. And I did that lesson when my two priests came to the Earth Court and revealed what was said. And I did a lesson in brief. As a matter of fact, I explained it to them. Then I heard it again, saying the same thing. Jacob was a thief. He stole the birthright. The closest thing I came to the truth is I'm sitting down in a seat in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, and I heard one of our teachers, a very good student, he explained it maybe the way it should be explained, but it needs more than that. It means that we should always be able to defend ourselves against the lie, because the truth should always be the truth and should be understood only by those of the truth. I'm going to read something to you, and then I'm going to explain it to you. It says, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore, take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. You know the story now that I'm talking about. And Rebekah heard. Now, this is never said. It is never said. And your elder Shadrock is going to let you understand the importance of this woman, what she did. We don't like to talk about it. But we got to understand, all the great men came from women. And I'm telling you what this is really is. Who's taking the chance? And what the so-called thief, how he's scared of doing it. Therefore, he could not be a thief. The Bible says, and Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son. So who's a thief? Did Jacob crave and run to go and get it? And I'll show you why it happened the way it did. Who was close to God at that time? There's culture and practice of a culture, and then there's your spirituality. Let me try to explain that. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob. Why would she do that? I'm going to go back later on and show you why she did that. Spake to Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, she's going to tell him what to, now Jacob didn't hear anything. I wanted you to bear this in mind. And this is a story that was, I don't know, it was so corrupted that people are going on TV and saying that Jacob was a thief. Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. This is what she heard. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Now we got to understand, this is a mother and a son. And in today's, when you look at it carefully, I see a lot of brethren in here. Daughters are very close to their daddy. I hope my daughters are. And the sons are close to their mother. You wonder why. Is it an automatic thing that it just happened? But this is a situation the mother heard, and she's calling out. Both of them are her sons. Both of them. But something happened. I'm going to explain to you later on what it is. The 8th verse in the 25th says, Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Pay careful attention. This is not Jacob. This is Rebekah calling him and saying, you can't be rude. When I was little, I couldn't even talk back to my mother. Now people are cursing their mother. I am telling you what happened is that she took the reins of this whole situation, and she's never mentioned. All you hear, Jacob was a thief, he stole the birthright. But let's listen carefully. He said, go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. Now, she would know what he loved. She does the cooking. Right? Yeah, look, you see, that's the mom and that's the son. And he told me with his own mouth. He wants to deny it too, but he did. And the 10th verse says, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death, Jacob. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. I don't think he means smooth, like smooth talking, cool, like. My father, pre-adventure, it's an old word, but you know what it means. Pre-adventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me. Is he still stealing? Follow me carefully. Shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, this is a woman that always been ignored in the story. His mother said unto him, upon me be thy course, my son, only obey my voice. Why are these all missing out from the story? Always. The power of the woman and the love for her son. Like my daughter, she loves her sons. I hope she don't love her son more than she loves her dad, because if I wasn't here, she wouldn't have no son. There are 14 verses in there. And he went and he fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of goats upon his hand, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread that she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who art thou, my son? Now this is the part where everybody gets clean, but the mother says, listen to me. You got to obey my voice. I command you. You know what the word command means? Command you. When somebody say command you, those of you who are in the military knows that the last command is the command. There was no command after his mother. So that was the command. Obey my voice. Do what I tell you to do. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau. Now, I'm going to say something. So he lied. He lied, right? So it's a sin to lie. Did you know that God did that too? To save his people? What happened with Abraham? Tell his wife, say you're my sister. Otherwise, the bottom line is whatever it takes. Whatever it takes for the safety of my people. Whatever it takes for the safety of my people, I would lie. Somebody was going, you know the story, somebody was going to anoint David king. Because it was an order. Go and anoint the lad for him to be king over Israel. What did the man say? The man says, if I go, Saul shall kill me. And the big man says, you know who the big man is? The God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. That God says, tell Saul, what to tell Saul?
Keep a feast.
Gonna have a feast. God lied. So what are you going to do, condemn God? The bottom line is his plan had to be carried out by whatever means possible. So you have a situation here where Jacob is saying that he is Esau. Some people might want to, that is more righteous more than the Israelites in here. Do you know that? Some people who are Christians or whoever them call themselves are more righteous than the people in the book. They might want to find fault in Jacob. He had no right to lie. But let me tell you something. The commandment was given to us, not to them, so that we can learn from them. When another man comes to teach what we are already supposed to understand, he would be a liar. And that would be a wolf in sheep clothing. And it continued to say, and Isaac said unto his son Jacob, unto his son, now, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God I know she would do something like that. She's laughing. Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Culture, practice, and your spirituality. Now remember, the firstborn has to get that. But God did not even give it to this firstborn of the 12. Reuben didn't get it. Sorry, Reuben, where are you? It went on to the third and fourth. Being born first does not make you firstborn in the eyes of the Spirit. Firstborn is the one that have been chosen to do what the Father's will for you to do. That would be the firstborn. So that's the practice of the culture. Now it says here, in the 21st verse, Isaac coming now. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau. You know, somebody says, I have 5 children, love them all the same. You know that's a lie. No, it is a lie. I'm the only person who don't have a favorite to my children. But it is a lie, because people let it pass by saying, sometimes I love this one more, sometimes I love this one more. Take out the sometimes, that's what it is. We have to understand the people that you're reading about had lives like us, had spirits like us. They think like us, but with more spiritual understanding than us, because they have seen what our Father has done. They have seen what the experience of what they had to go through to understand what it is. It says in the 21st verse, and he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. Bottom line. So he blessed him. And I'm going to show you how all of this is going to work out, and you could understand exactly why it happened the way it is. Well, are you looking for the scriptures? It is Genesis 25. And the 24th verse is, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my son may bless thee. And he brought him near to him, and he said, eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And don't tell me that the wine Israelite drank, because that was not being drunk in a church. It was not being drunk by the altar. Nothing like that happened. And as far as the 26th verse, just in case you find the scripture, the 26th verse says, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And they weren't gay. And he came there and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Oh, the 28th verse. I'll show that where I am. Therefore God gave thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee. Understand this now. Could you imagine for one moment that all these blessings would have been gone to Esau, to Edom? All this blessing. As Israelites, in Genesis 49, they tell you about all the gifts. But just imagine this. Esau would have had all this blessing. But that's not what God wants. And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let the scripture tell you. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and bless he that blesseth thee. That would have been Esau. I want for you to let the story sink in. Because if tomorrow morning you hear a different story, you would say, that's not true. And you would be right in saying it isn't true. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat. This is our culture, or a practice of our culture. The 33rd verse says, and Isaac trembled. Well, the 32nd verse, he found out who it was. It said, and Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. We don't try. We all feel that we're bigger than him. That's what happened. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that taketh venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me so also, O my father. See how it happened now. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and had taken away thy blessings. And he said, is not the rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. he took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessings. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. And all his brethren I give to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Follow the story. If you're just reading the lines, you don't see how it all happened, you would think, oh, I don't want to call their names. They're on TV and saying he's a thief. Let's go on. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy blessing shall be the fatness of the earth, and as the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion. And Esau hated Jacob. Now you're going to be on Esau's side. But look at our world today. Look at our world. Just take a good look at it. What is the blessing that he had? Because of anger. And this blessing came upon. And that by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou wilt break its yoke from his neck. Take a good look. Take a good look at yourself and people that look like you. And see what is happening now. The struggle continues. The blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. It's no reasoning. It's no find out what you do that. Maybe then Jacob could say, it's not me. That's a very famous person. Have you met that person? It's not me. Not me is one of the all of you have relationship with him. Not me. He existed in all of us. But he could have been reasonable and says, Jacob, why did you do this? No, the first thing in his head is what's happening today with our people. I hate you. I'm going to kill you. It's life. But he's the one that is being loved, even by you. And these words of Esau, or eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her youngest son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau is touching thee. Doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Are you not seeing love and see the part that the woman played? Can't we not see? This is not what Elder Shadrock is saying, by the way. I'm reading it to you. No, I don't like reading, but this one I have to read. You are seeing exactly the role, because she has her ear to the door, and she listens to everything, and she goes to her son with it. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran. In other words, your brother wants to kill you, this is what I want for you to do. Again, obey my voice, command. Who's playing the role here? Poor Jacob saying, I'm scared. But mom is saying, I command you. You do what I tell you to do. The power of the woman, whether she's a mother or not. I can give you a million stories like that. The practice of the culture and our own spirituality. And tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away. until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Mommy. And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am very weary, my life, because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life be? So, you see, maybe somebody is looking at a daughter-in-law. I don't know. Is that a woman? She looking at her daughter-in-law. What kind of daughter-in-law? Why are you going to take a woman from Heth? I don't like her. I like my other son. But if my other son is going to take a wife from Heth, I want for you to understand the substance of this story. It's not a story that you can say that Jacob stole. He never stole anything. It's the power of the woman. And we're going to get to that. The 25th verse. The 25th chapter, rather. I'm going to tell you how it happened. The 21st verse says, and Isaac entreated the Lord. Isaac, remember I told you, if you come to Isaac clearly, with the Spirit of the God of Israel pushing you, he is going to listen to you. Because Isaac loved the God of Israel. So when you say that Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, first thing, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Let's just look at it that way. So this is how it happened. And the children struggled. Everybody knows this because it's been on TV all the time with all the wrong clarification. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire. Anybody have it? Who should inquire of? Okay. Now we're going to see why everything happened. And she went and inquired of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, I hear that God don't talk to women. Did you ever hear that? They too lied. Because I'm telling you, the Lord said unto her, listen what the Lord said unto her. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other people. I don't play football, but you know what I'm saying? France won. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the 1 people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So who's obedient? Who's obedient? She is listening to what the God of Israel is saying, and she will do anything to upkeep that law. So don't blame Jacob anymore. She is doing whatever it takes because the God of Israel told her, this is what I want for you to do. And when her days to be delivered was fulfilled, behold, they were twins. There were twins in her womb. And it says, and after that, okay, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. First came out red. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when he bare them. And who would God going to be going to at Bethel? He wouldn't change Esau's name because that was not in the plan. So Rebekah did what she had to do for Jacob. So when the time comes in Genesis 35, his name had to change to Israel so we can be Israelites. It was Rebekah who did it. She was very, very obedient to the words that the God of Israel has given unto her. It got nothing to do now with Jacob and Esau and Isaac. It's the woman. God told her what to do and what is going to happen. Don't let's forget that. And the God of Israel spoke to her directly. And the 27th verse says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. It happened today. It is the truth. My daughter loved me. Oh Lord, is it true? This is how I'm going to end the story, and then we can talk of what you're going to see tomorrow on the television. And you can understand there's no truth like this truth in the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministry. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me. You can see the power. The power that the man has, but the spirit don't have, because it's the other person that has the spirit. So you can see the difference of it here. You can see the big brother say, hey, bring that thing, feed me, man. And the little brother would go, and feed him. So one have one heck of a power, and the other one has some measure of humility. Is willing to serve. And because he was like that, the mother said, this is not what's supposed to happen, son. God is supposed to bless you, not him. Regardless of how bad it looks, that's the truth. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called, what was his name called? What was his name called? You're not following me. His name was called Edom. So you can understand what's happening to us today, where it comes from. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. First time it's come. The humility of it all. And Esau said, behold, I am at a point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Did somebody steal it? But the story is not ended yet. And Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Did Jacob stole it? Okay, well let's go on to see now. I want for you to pay careful attention to the 34th verse. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Did anybody ever see that? Did anybody ever see that in the Bible? That Esau, Edom, despised his birthright. It's written. It's in the book. So when you hear that Jacob is a thief, oh, not you. When you hear that Jacob is a thief, you know that that's a lie. Number one, the power of the woman. Number two, he come home and he wants a servant to serve him. So he lied on. The Bible didn't say he was really faint. He just said, okay, bring the pot. Treat me, I'm fit. How many of you do that? How many of you do that? No? Okay, come on, bring some water from you. You just want to be served. And that's what happened. And why did he, if he really had want that birthright, nobody and nothing could have had it. Number one, he played all of that, he did all of that, and then he showed why he despised it. What am I going to do with this? But to see where his blessings are, and you did not hold on to all blessings. We did not hold to our blessings. And that's one of the things we should be talking about today. Because it's not only that situation. Remember, I'm talking about culture, practice, and our own spirituality. It is, or it was, the culture of the people, as I told you, to bless the elders. Put your hand, and the Bible says that everyone the son that came up from the matrix belongs to God. So the culture was there, so we have it. So what happened in Egypt? Joseph had 2 sons. I don't know what the British call Manasseh. They have their own pronunciation of it. It was Manasseh and Ephraim, right? What do you call him in England? Manasseh. He had 2. I'm going to give you the same experience about the greatness of our spirituality that surpass our culture and our practice. But with that same breath, I will tell you, don't bother with what people tell you outside. Now you come from all over the world today for a special reason. And that's why, because I said to myself, I'm not going to teach anymore. There's a new leader now, so I don't need to teach. And he's more good looking more than me and younger and sprightly. I can't even see him. I don't even know where he is. But it says some lessons have to be taught, and some people need to understand what this nation stands for. This nation means to bring all Israel together, not men alone. Because men are nothing but, you know what I learned in politics? When I just started, rather, I didn't learn in politics. I was being trained in one of the courses we call the developers course in my country. And it was said to me, if you want for some reason to get people coming into place, I want for you, let's say we give a party and we want a lot of people to come in. We give 10 women free, like Arlene. 10, they come in free. And the whole place will be packed with men. And the men have to pay. The men would have to pay because it said women free. So this is how we have to look at things in everyday life. It's very degrading what's happening on Maury's show. Now you're laughing. You know why you're laughing? Because Maury's show is entertainment. Joseph had 2 sons. And again, the line cannot come from women. Because Jacob had, you might go, how many concubines you have?
How many concubines? None.
He had 2 wives, but then he had handmaids. So why are they calling you a bastard? Why are they calling you a bastard if you're serving the same God? There is no bastard in Israel. It has nothing to do with your earthly father. And you're not known by the roots of your mother. You're known by the roots of your father. Let's try to understand that. And if we understand that, it doesn't mean that we should throw away our mother. Because we know in this nation we don't celebrate Mother's Day. Could I say that again? We do not celebrate Mother's Day. So all of you who are listening, I'll say it again. We do not celebrate Mother's Day. Why? Because you're all black people, you're going to ask me why. Oh, we have some white people. Because every birthday is your Mother's Day. Every birthday that you have is your Mother's Day. I don't have it. My mother's dead. So I don't have Mother's Day. Just think of what your mother could have done to you. But you're here. It doesn't matter. I know some of you don't like your mother because some mothers are terrible. I know some mothers that are terrible, and both of them have the same name too. So the man is the seed of the crop. Remember that. Always. The woman is the earth. You can plant a seed and don't look after it and it will die. But once you plant the seed and it's been nurtured, because the womb is symbolic to the earth. And the seed grows, and you think when that woman got the child, it's her child. No, it's your child. And I don't know where people get this idea and leave a woman with 10 children and gone. Because there's not proper education for you to understand that the child is yours. I applaud these men that stick with their children regardless of what. I love the men who do that. It means that they have certain degree of understanding that the child belongs to them. It is your seed. But I also know there's some terrible women. They have gardens of wild bushes everywhere. But let's just look at the facts. Let's just look at facts. And this is edifying for all of us to understand. When you plant the seed, you water it, let it grow, take care of it. It bears fruit, the fruit belongs to you too. You know the story with Noah? Once you live in my house, it's mine. There was nothing like grand. Oh, I love my grand. No, I get great grand. So that's good. I think I'm blessed. So, the idea of having seeds, you go north and the seeds are in south, should not be an Israelite thing. The woman has assisted you in bringing forth your seed. And when the seed comes, the seed thanks the earth for bringing her forth for the husbandman. You know what the meaning of the husbandman? The planter of the seed, the one that looks after the garden. That's the one. He's the husbandman. So look at how it's supposed to work. You plant the seed. And you plant the seed, you look after the seed. And it grows. And then it bears fruit. And the little fruit come out, it's your fruit. Don't run to plant another seed somewhere else and another seed. Some people have to do that. My own experience. Because women are terrible sometimes. Because they too do not understand. They do not. Why you laughing, John? No. They too do not understand the measure and level of responsibility. If we all understand it, look how great this nation would be. Do you know how many single parents, I wouldn't say single mothers, do you know how many single parents in North America, Canada, and the U.S.? It's appalling. Most are women, but they're all single. And they have black males coming up. No daddy. No one to stand up for them. No one to teach them about life. I'm glad at least some daughters have their father, so that the father would be in their lives. But it's the type of world that we live in. It's a crazy, crazy world because no one is taught about the goodness and the richness of this book. If we all understood the richness of this book, we wouldn't go to counselors. We would get on our face and we would pray to God of Israel to guide us into the light so that we'll be able to see what is wrong in our lives and where we need to go. I don't even know why I got in that subject. Because I was talking about Manasseh, and Ephraim. I'm going to explain something to you, because remember, I'm talking about the practice of the culture and our own spirituality. It says in Genesis 48, and Israel beheld, now Israel is a man. We're not talking about a land now. We're talking about the man, Israel, whose name was changed from Jacob to Israel. You can find that God himself did that. Genesis 35. Read 8, 9, 10 verse, and you'll get the whole thing about it. This is Genesis 48. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? You know, the story is a wonderful story with the cup and the bag with the corn. And when you read that story, I'm sure you would want to shed a tear because it is so moving. So all of these things that we're talking about, it's important for us not to just talk about or read about, but to understand it. Because as I said before, every fool can read. And people would go on Facebook and reading the Psalms or reading all these things, and they don't know anything. What is important is what is written in John 8:32. It is the truth that will make us free. The Bible is an Israelite book. So if you're not an Israelite, close it. Get your own book. That's how it should be. Don't take my book and read it and say you're holy. There is no Christian in the Bible, first thing. So if you're Christian, don't pick up my book to read it. You're not qualified. Now, let's look at Joseph's sons. You see what happened with Edom and Jacob? And I hope you get the picture. Jacob is not a thief. I show you the obedience and the strategy and tactics of the woman. She knows what to do. And I know a lot of you as black women here know exactly what to do when it comes to these things. Know exactly what to do. Just tell you, Rebecca, that's one hell of a woman. It says here, and the man Israel beheld Joseph's son and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons whom God had given me in this place, which is Egypt. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them again. You know, we don't do that anymore. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see, and he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God had showed me also thy seed. See the word seed I'm talking about? Have you seen that? The Lord had showed me thy seed, and Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed. This is his father. I would like to praise those children who really praise their father, look after the father, because without the father, there will be no bowels to go to. So, as it says all the time, none of us are independent. We all depend on each other. And that's the way it should be. Bowed himself with his face to the earth, to his father. You guys only want to do it for the God of Israel. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand unto Manasseh's head, and guiding his hands wittingly. You know what that means? Wittingly, it means that I don't want him to see what I'm doing. You know, using his wit. It's an old word, but it still means the same thing in 2018. Wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. Being born first does not make you firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom thy fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life, long to this day, this gets me emotional sometimes. An angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into multitude in the midst of the earth. You know, if people read all these things, how come they don't see, when you're a Christian, all you see, Jesus loved me? Why would they read the Bible in the first place? And it says, and when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. It means that we also have some degree of feeling and emotion. So spirituality is taken and culture is there. So what's supposed to happen is the culture, or the practice of the culture, the practice of all the things that's supposed to happen, supposed to be winning over the spiritual aspect of our lives? No, it's not supposed to. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. Why you do that? They're both children, put your hand anyway. But the culture of the people is to do that. That's why Rebecca had to change it. You understand what I'm saying? Rebecca, she knew that the father is going to put his hand on Esau. And the Lord God of my fathers told her, Jacob has to get that. So she worked and get it all done. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused. Again, you have the spiritual aspect. And said, I know it, my son. I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. So why didn't he just remain his hand upon that one and pray for him to become a multitude of nations? You see, it is all set out how it's supposed to be. So you can't change that. I'm going to bless you so you become the... No, this is the one that has to be the multitude of a nation. So it's not your hand going there going to make him. That's not how it's supposed to be. But we all get confused and corrupt when we think about how the God of Israel worked. We don't see some of us in him. All we see is doubts. It's not supposed to be this way. I said a long time ago, there is no coincidence in Israel. You can take it how you want it, but I'm telling you,